guys, and welcome to a new episode of Football Show. As today I'm going to talk about yesterday's Premier League games and also games from other European leagues, from Ligue 1 and La Liga as well. But let's start with the Premier League first. Nottingham Forest beat Brentford 3-1. Chris Wood once again got in the score sheet. School sheet. I really say that. Um, he got on the score sheet. Just season started straight away, and then he's already scored. He had a fantastic season last season, and he's already back on scoring goals, back on the score sheet. And he scores his first goal in the first game in the Premier League for Nottingham Forest. And Nottingham Forest win 3-1 against Brentford. We knew the Sprinter Santa was saying before the game that they're far away from where we should be, etc., etc., in terms of planning, etc., etc. But when you see this kind of performances, you don't really believe him, don't you? Do you? So yeah, but. But yeah, good win and good performance and a great start for Nottingham Forest. Chelsea versus Crystal Palace ended a 0-0 draw. And Chelsea, I have to say, they struggled, in my opinion. They had a lot of possession, but I felt like they struggled to break down the low block of Crystal Palace. And what was the problem for Chelsea is that Chelsea are a very good team, don't get me wrong. Chelsea in the cup competition, they're very good. But this is maybe how it's become a bit of a trade in Chelsea in recent years, that they've become a cup team. And when I say that, the last time they won a Premier League title was 2017. If you want to win Premier Leagues and league titles, you need consistency for a long period. And Chelsea, since they won the league the last time under Antonio Conte, they haven't exceeded 80 points, which tells you everything you need to know. Because listen, Chelsea are a very good team. Chelsea can destroy everybody in a one-off game in a cup competition. But when it comes to a 38 game campaign, a 10-month season campaign of a single competition, they struggle to find consistency. Because last season they were doing amazingly well in the first half of the season, but then they struggled to maintain that consistency, which was the reason why they couldn't compete for the title. And even there was even the suggestion they might not even qualify for Champions League, but even though they still qualified in the end. And they had lots of possession. They had 19 shots. Crystal Palace had less possession, but they had more shots on target. They were like more decisive in front of goal. Yeah, okay, they didn't score, but they at least they had more big chances than Chelsea. Chelsea had a lot of possession, but they couldn't break down the low block of Crystal Palace. And because it's strange, because in the attack you think like Chelsea have solved the problems. They've got players like João Pedro, Cole Palmer, Pedro Neto. They bring in players like Delap, and you think like, okay, they were great going forward in the Club World Cup. They should be the same going forward. The problem is that they need to have a good defender and a good goalkeeper. But they couldn't do that. They couldn't do that, and I think that was the problem with Chelsea, is that they couldn't build up well from the back. They've got players like Colwell. Was obviously injured. When Chelsea play really well is because of Colwell, because he can build up from the back really well, and that is what starts from Chelsea. Because Chelsea don't like, when Chelsea are a team, when they get the ball, they don't like just attack straight away. They like to pass. They like to build up first and then try to attack and score. And I think that's, Chelsea miss Colwell, that's for sure, because he's a guy that can build up Chelsea really well from the back. But at the same time, you have to adapt. You have to adapt to not having certain players. So I don't think Chelsea adapted really well in this game. Crystal Palace scored a free kick from Eberechi Eze, but it was disallowed by VAR for something. Yeah, something ridiculous, honestly. Uh, the goal was disallowed. The free kick was ruled out by VAR due to Mark Gui being within 1 yard of Chelsea's wall, 1 millimeter, whereas the Crystal Palace captain Mark Gui jottled with Moises Caicedo. I mean, what are we doing here? Play football or ping pong? Like, I honestly don't understand. Um, like, listen, the rules are the rules, and I understand it. Okay, I understand you have to go by the rules and to stop this kind of goals. You know, if you look at the law 13 free kicks, where three or more defending team, where three or more defending team players form a wall, all attacking team players must remain at least 1 yard from the wall until the ball is in play. So they've made the right decision according to the rules, even though I think it's ridiculous. Okay, right? However, I would like to see more of this from the referees, because sometimes referees they make decisions according to the rules, and then 1 week after or 2 weeks after there's a similar situation and they make a different decision. So I hope they are consistent by that. They are very consistent by that, because you never know with these referees in the Premier League. They're so inconsistent. They're consistent being inconsistent. So yeah, that's the problem. I have. Okay, you make this kind of decision, but next time if there's a decision like that, you have to. It has to be the same. So a potential decision. So yeah, I hope the Premier League referees are consistent. Listen, I think it's ridiculous to decide a goal like this. I think it's so ridiculous. Honestly, it's so ridiculous. I really don't understand. But yeah. Anyway, Crystal Palace goal, disallowed goal, and Crystal Palace, I felt like they did quite well. They defended very well, and you could say they got hard done by the disallowed goal. Um, yeah, it's according to the rules, but it's a bit ridiculous as well. So yeah, but good point for Crystal Palace and Chelsea. Yeah, room for improvement because they couldn't break Crystal Palace down. And Cole Palmer, I mean, he hasn't scored an open play goal in the Premier League since January. I, I mean, he was fantastic for Chelsea in the Club World Cup, but for him to not score an open play goal in the Premier League since January I mean, yeah, it's not great. But he will get his feet again. He will score. He will score goals very soon. He's too good of a player to go in this kind of droughts. Let's move on to Manchester United against Arsenal. Arsenal won 1-0 thanks to a goal from Ricardo Calafiori from the set piece. Once again, Arsenal score a goal from the set piece, and no surprise, the first goal of the Premier League season for Arsenal comes from a set piece, comes from a corner. When I see the goal, I've seen people say it should have been a foul, etc., because of Saliba, interfering with Binder. I think Binder should have been much stronger, much stronger. He's taller. He's more taller than Raya, by the way, and Raya was much better than Binder in this game. Binder should have been much better. Binder should have been much stronger. Binder should have been able to cope with it, and he didn't cope with it. And because of bad mistake, United get punished for a goal in the corner. Good goal, great goal from Arsenal once again. Comes from a set piece once again. But despite United losing and losing because of bad mistake from Binder, in my opinion, I thought they played really really well, and we all thought, oh, United, it's going to be same old United. We've said before that it could be a very good season for United, and then we fall into the trap that it could be a good season for United, and then they ended up having a bad season. Because I remember they had a good transfer window last season, and we all thought, oh, they could do something here, but they finished 15th. So, but they played really well. They played fantastically well, and they had some chances. They hit the post in the first half. I thought Cunha looked fantastically good. I thought he was fantastic. But Buemo, and Amad Diallo were causing problems for Arsenal. Sesko came in. He did okay, in my opinion. I thought United played very, very good. They played very good. They created a lot of chances. They had 22 shots, 62% possession, 7 shots on target. Not everything is about statistics, but I think the statistics sum up the game. Arsenal won, but Manchester United were the better team. They played the better football and had more chances. But in this kind of games, you have to put the ball back on the net to win the matches, and I think Arsenal did that. Arsenal then played really, really well. They were not good, but at the same time, in this when you start the season, it's about getting the results, not about getting the putting the performances. Because yeah, then after towards the end, later on the season, you can focus on results and performance. But now, when you start the season, it's about results. It's about results. It's about getting the points, and Arsenal got the points. They didn't play really well, like I said, but they got the points. I thought in midfield, I think they should have done better. Not not the midfield, sorry. Zubimendi did very, very well, but I felt like the wingers of Arsenal should have done better. I think Martinelli had a poor game. Saka didn't do much. Gyökeres, not a good performance for him as well. I've seen people really overreact on Gyökeres on social media, but listen, it's the first game. Let's not overreact. Let's see what he does after against Liverpool, against Manchester City, against Newcastle. When sooner or later, also Arsenal will play them, because they're going to play them in August and September. But I thought Arsenal defended very, very well, very well. I think that it was I won't call it a defensive masterclass, but it was defensively they were fantastic. Arsenal, they were superb. I thought Saliba, Gabriel once again were absolutely fantastic. Ben White, very good. Calafiori, fantastic, brilliant performance for him. Zubimendi, superb. I thought Arsenal, going for Arsenal, they were not that spectacular, but defensively I thought they defended very well. Timber came in off the bench, did a very good job. Arsenal defended fantastically well, and they managed the game quite well. Even though when they were not at the best, they were the second best team in this game. They managed the game fantastically well. So you have to give credit to Arsenal, and you have to give credit to Mikel Arteta for managing the game, managing to hold on despite not playing really well. Because United, let's be honest, they were much better than Arsenal in this game. So United, like I said, they played very, very well. They had chances, could have scored more. Sorry, they could have scored like more than one goal, because they didn't score any goals, but they played really well. They had chances. I thought Cunha looked very, very good. He's going to look good for the rest of the season for United if he stays fit. Same as Mbeumo, same as Amad Diallo. So United lost, but they've shown some good signs. They've shown signs that they're actually going to be much better this season than last season. They played really well, and going forward they were very, very good. However, I would say that they need to sign a new goalkeeper, because Onana, clearly Ruben Amorim doesn't fancy Onana anymore, which I can completely understand. He didn't even put him in the squad. Milner he's okay, but is he good enough? So I think United need to sign a goalkeeper. I think Manchester United should sign a goalkeeper right now. Tom Heaton is not, he's very old, so I think United need to sign a goalkeeper. That's the only thing I would say. But except that, I think Bender should have been much stronger, like I said. But I think except that, United played fantastically well, and it's for sure they didn't deserve to lose this game, because they played very, very well, created a lot of chances, and they played with energy, they played with spirit, they played with desire, and they played with good competitiveness. So. But Arsenal, they get the job done in the end. It's about football is about winning. It's not about how you win. And Arsenal did that. They won. Doesn't matter how they won it, and they get their 3 points and they move on. Even though like I said, Arsenal didn't play that well, but they could improve still. It's the first game of the season. Let's not overreact. I'm gonna close the video now and move on to the other video.